Okay, I wanted to make another video. The title of this video is The Fire of Lust, The Moth and the Flame. There's actually quite a good song. I think uh, I think I first heard it from Mr. Robot, the TV series, which is an amazing TV series. I'd recommend watching that if you haven't. Um, but yeah, I don't know exactly the name of the song. I might put in the description or the comments, but it's something like The Moth and the Flame. But it's actually a perfect analogy for lust, right? Lust, in a sense, it's like a strong desire for something, but it's almost like a fixation on it, right? It's a fixation. It's 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 like a need to get it, right? Um, and of course, it's like tied in with like just sexual. It's more of like a just sexual desire, but lust could be in different ways. Not necessarily always about sex, but it's kind of like an obsession with needing to get like something in particular. Like it's always one thing, or obviously you can lust for many things, but like it's always fixated upon like I want that girl in particular. Like you're like it's always something in particular that you're lusting over, right? Um, but why the moth and the flame is like a perfect analogy, and why I called it the fire of lust is almost because like, and why is like lust considered like a sin in the Bible or whatever? Um, it's not necessarily that like it's a sin to like be attracted to a woman or whatever. All of this stuff is natural biology, but it's more like the desire to like have them and own them. Like you can't really own anyone. You can't really have someone. Like you can be attracted to someone, right? But essentially, when you try to have someone, like you're gonna essentially get burnt. And why is that? It's like it's literally just like the moth and the flame. Like if you if you actually what like or you don't even need to see videos. I'm sure you've seen moths like flying to the light, right? They always go to the light. So like imagine it sees a flame. Like a moth, right? Like it lusts for that fire so much or that light so much that it will even go to into the flame and burn and die. Like literally it will go into the flame and burn and die. That's how much it it lusts for that light, right? And that's what's happening to many people now, is to where lust is in a sense like desire for something in particular, but it's so like unbalanced and out of control that you are like burning yourself in the process. Like you're getting overextended. Like you're performing actions that are destructive to your own self in order just to get that thing, right? And it's not really anything to do with that thing in particular. Like it's not like wrong or a sin to want like money or to want a beautiful woman or to want this or that, right? But it's like when it takes over your life and you're so obsessed and fixated with it that you will do anything to get it, right? Most likely the consequences will be just as drastic. Like you're gonna do something that goes against your moral code, or of course morality is relative. There's no such thing as absolute morality, but you may go against your own kind of code of honor. You may do something like that is at the expense of someone else, and all of these things are usually gonna come back and burn you, right? So yeah, I just felt like the moth and the flame is a really um it's just a perfect analogy. Like people don't realize that they're destroying themselves by chasing whatever they're chasing. As I said, desire is like if I don't know if you've watched that video, my earlier video, how life and desire are intimately linked. And this, in a sense, you can't really have life without desire, right? So I'm not saying that it's wrong to like desire something or be working towards something. It's just that lust, where it's kind of become like a conceptual fixation and it's more of an obsession. That's where it becomes imbalanced. That's where it becomes imbalanced because now you like need it. It's not really like you want it. It's like you need something that you actually don't need. See, like need and want are two different things. Like you could say, I need food, I need shelter. That would be correct, right? Because those are just like basic survival things. But then saying you need $1 million, like that's a lie. You want $1 million. See, so lust is kind of like you're acting like you need something that you don't need. You're acting like you need something that you just want. And then that like illusion, that delusion is what's going to get you burnt. So you see, like the moth doesn't really like it doesn't really need like a fire. Like it doesn't need that flame. Like it doesn't really like maybe it's like it needs light. I don't know. I don't know the specific like why it does that, right? But still, like you see how it's getting burnt by its own desire. It's not conscious enough to realize like yes I want light, but like is it worth going into the flame and dying for that desire? You see, it's just too unconscious. But this is how a lot of humanity is as well. They're not able to kind of step back and like question what they're even doing, what they're even chasing. And that's where like a lot of corruption happens as well, and where people end up doing a lot of actions that they regret. Like, I'm lucky enough to where I'm sure there's like I could go back and think on one or two things in my life that I'd have preferred to have not done, but I don't really regret a lot. But that's because I'm like kind of conscious on the decisions that I choose, and I don't really do things that I would be like annoyed at myself for or regret just in order to get like some particular outcome. Like, yes, you can try and get that particular outcome, but there's always other ways of getting it. There's more balanced ways, more healthy ways. So it's like you don't want to really compromise that, right? And it's like when you desire something so much that you become blind and you would do anything to get it, that's when you're gonna get burnt. So you have to be able, like, conscious enough to kind of step back, like realize what do I desire, what am I chasing, what am I like doing to get it, like will I regret doing this later, so on and so forth. You have to be able to kind of take a step back and like question your actions, right? So yeah, this is another short video, but you guys can let me know what you think of that analogy.